The John Wick films have carved themselves a nice subgenre in the industry, ever since the dynamite introduction with the original John Wick back in 2014. And it didn't only breathe fresh air into the genre, but into Keanu Reeves' career as well, launching both his return to the pop culture zeitgeist and the birth of his own franchise. A set of films helmed by the same director, Chad Stahelski, who has a long experience in fight choreography, and that paid off a lot. With each franchise installment, the budget and story kept getting bigger and bigger, and it was still able to score consistently positive reviews from critics and audiences, a rarity in the field. It was so successful that we've had similar kinetic action films in 2021's Nobody and 2022's Bullet Train. And while I'd say the first two films in the franchise are about on the same level and quality, the third film, Parabellum, left me disappointed and tired. While the action was still good, the story got stretched way too far for my liking in these types of films. So I was kind of worried that it would continue in that direction where it was focused on the world building instead of the core of what makes John Wick movies, and that's John Wick himself. And to be honest, I gotta say I'm very pleased with this one. Okay, let's get the obvious out of the way. The story is about what you expect from a John Wick film: revenge, and guess what, even more revenge. And I'll say also the dialogue is about on par with the rest of the franchise, a lot of yes and a lot of one-liners, so at least it's consistent in that regard, no matter how middlingly average it is. And I think some of the world building we get in the third movie and part of the second one really helps push the characters in the forefront, because the world speaks for itself now. It's established. But come on, you know what you're here for. Action and fight scenes, and my god, they went all out here. With this one, the jump in budget from 75 million to 100 million is very much apparent with the scale of some of these action sets. And one thing I'll take away from Parabellum is the upgrade in its color grading. And that returns here as well, as it feels like a fusion of all three films in the franchise to make this massive action extravaganza. I mean, the scope is massive. It takes place across the world, from homegrown New York City to Germany to Japan and finally France. Like, they've literally gone crazy with the budget they've got. But before I get too ahead of myself, the supporting cast is the best it's ever been. Not only are Lawrence Fishburne, Ian McShane, and Lance Reddick back to their roles, they've loaded with star-studded talent with Hiroyuki Sanada, Donnie Yen, and Bill Skarsgård, who, by the way, works in this corny French aristocrat role as the antagonist. As does Sanada and Yen in their roles as action stars as well. Yen, who really stood out with a lot of clever comedic bits, and he can honestly never disappoint. I'd also wish we'd seen Rina Sawano more, as it's set up that we'd see more of her beyond the initial screen time we got with her. I thought we'd get to see her in the same vein as Shamir Anderson, who has a fantastic dynamic with his dog throughout the film. But with that said, everyone played the roles to a T. Every action sequence these actors were a part of just felt right. It's the franchise's biggest strength, and they're just flexing it throughout the entire film. And when a film knows how to play its cards and everything it can to show those strengths, it just feels confident in its filmmaking. And that, to its core, really makes it the perfect John Wick movie in both the franchise and this niche subgenre in the action space. This really does feel like his peak in terms of his character. He's at the center stage of the entire film, and the whole story and its characters flow through him, along with the on-point cinematography, choreography, sound design, soundtrack. It's hitting at all cylinders, especially that pistol sound effect whenever he shoots on beat with the techno soundtrack is just perfect, honestly. And other than that, I can't really say anything else about it. It's a technical achievement and 100% a theater experience. Even at its absurd borderline 3-hour runtime, it's the go-to action film of 2023, easily. And it's one that's probably going to be tough to beat, especially that final hour of the film, which is what makes it not only the best John Wick film, but the perfect John Wick film. From the different styles of fighting to excellent dynamic set pieces, it's both fluid and expressive while reaching back to its roots of being a revenge film. I've gone on record saying that Tom Cruise is truly the last movie star ever, but I'd be lying if I said Keanu isn't right there trying to hang on to that title as well. If you like the first three films, hell, even if you only like the first one, which was my favorite of the franchise before seeing this one, you'll love this tenfold. Yeah, I'm feeling a light 4 out of 5 stars on this. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.